everybody, my name is Brittany and welcome back to my channel. So today I thought I would do a little read this not that. So this is going to be a little read this not that. I'm sure you guys have seen the magazine where it's Eat This Not That, where they recommend healthier alternatives to foods that people tend to eat. So this is kind of a bookish spin on that. Yeah, so I'm going to be recommending alternatives to books that you may be thinking about picking up, that I have read that I did not like for various reasons. I'm going to go through them fairly quickly, but I will give a little kind of reason as to why I don't like each book, and then I will talk about why the alternatives are better. Okay, as always, these are just my opinions. I know that's pretty obvious by now, but it's the internet, so I have to say it. Okay, and without further ado, if you want to discuss this with me in the comments afterward, I would be more than happy to hear from you and discuss these with you. Okay, so to start out with, the first book that I want to talk about, I don't even really remember the author, but it's called Tips for Teens Who Are Kind of, a little autistic. This book presents a very, very negative view of autism. It absolutely trashes the neurodiversity movement, which is a very bad thing because the neurodiversity movement is absolutely crucial for spreading acceptance and understanding of autistic people. This author presents a very, very negative view. She presents autism very inaccurately as a disease or an illness or something that a person can or would want to recover from. She presents it in a very, very negative light. And to be honest, this book is really not worth your time. I don't want to give this book any more oxygen than what it's already getting. So please, please boycott this book. Do not read it. Do not pick it up if you can avoid it. If you would like to read a great book on being autistic from an autistic author, I would highly recommend instead Existing Autistic by Megan Rhiannon. My copy is downstairs. Rhiannon. This is a beautiful, beautifully written book. It presents a very positive view of being autistic. It goes through all kinds of topics from functioning labels to sensory sensitivities to interaction, communication, coping tools for autistic people while out. She wrote it for teens and young adults on the spectrum, but also for their loved ones and families to help guide and support. And it's a safe place for autistic people where they can feel understood and less alone. And it's also a guide for them as well when they're struggling, as well as a guide for those who are not autistic, helping on how to help and how to interact with them. So it's a beautifully written book. Highly, highly recommend. Okay, moving on. The next book that I want to talk about is The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas. I absolutely despise this book. I talk about it a little bit more in the last video that I did, where I talk about why I didn't like it, but in my worst books that I've ever read video, but the long and the short of it is that I found this author to be very manipulative, and it really rubbed me the wrong way. I felt that it was more of a lecture of, trying to make Caucasian people feel bad for being Caucasian. I felt that it was very, very manipulative. I felt it was extremely preachy. I felt that the main character was very whiny. She was very, very flat. I didn't feel like she had much of character, much of personality. I was very bored. I wouldn't recommend it. I felt like the subject matter was she used other topics that deserve respect and deserve to be explored, like grief and family dysfunction and oppression and these topics. I felt like she used these topics just to sort of make a black versus white argument. I felt like it was way oversimplified. I felt like everything was done just to prove her point over and over and over again, kind of shoving it down your throat or hammering it in, so to speak. I really, really didn't appreciate that. I didn't like this book. So, what would I recommend instead? Another book that also explores themes of oppression and slavery, and it explores themes of love and standing up for what you believe in, and wrongful persecution of people, and wrongful imprisonment, and all these kinds of things, is none other than one of my favorite books of all time, An Ember in the Ashes by Sabaa Tahir. I absolutely love this story. The way that she explores these themes with the characters within the story is beautiful. Her writing is gorgeous. It's explored in a way that is very entertaining. It really makes you, it also makes you think, but at the same time you're still in characters, and it's just a really, really, really beautifully written book. I absolutely love it, and I would highly, highly recommend it. It deals with many, many of the same themes as The Hate U Give, but it all deals with them in a much, much better way, in my opinion. And I feel like it gives each theme the time and attention that it deserves. And I absolutely love this book. So, okay, moving right along. The next book that I want to talk to you guys about is Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. I am unhauling this book. It's supposed to be a spooky book. I've just found it more disturbing, really, than spooky. I like the idea of the pictures being part of the story, but the story itself I really didn't find that appealing. I really didn't feel like objectively it was that well written. I can't really recommend it. Because I really didn't find it scary. I just found it more disturbing, and it's just really not my kind of spooky book. So I can't really recommend it. But instead, what I will recommend to you is, where'd it go? There it is. Instead, what I'm going to recommend to you guys is The Bell Witch by Brent Monahan. This is a beautifully written telling of the Bell Witch story. If you don't know what the story is about, it's about a ghost of a witch named Kate who was attacking John Bell's family in 1818 in Tennessee. And it's just really, really a very, very spooky story. And I love it. It gives me goosebumps, but it gives me goosebumps in all the right ways. It's a true story, which I kind of enjoy a little bit sometimes. So I highly, highly recommend this book if you're looking for a scare. And last, but certainly not least, the last book that I want to talk to you guys about not reading is Josh and Hazel Not Dating by Christina Lauren. I did not enjoy that book. I found it extremely predictable. I found the romance very, very cheesy. I'm not one for adult romance anyway, but I found it incredibly cheesy. I found there was way too much just in terms of like, I don't know, I think the romance was just too mature for my taste. But if you're looking, and the other thing too is that the entire book was focused on the romance. There was nothing else really going on. And so I'm not really big on that. But what I will recommend to you guys, if you guys are looking for a cute, innocent romance that's kind of starting to blossom, and it's starting to blossom, and it's in the midst of a grand, grand adventure, I would recommend Peter and the Starcatchers by Barry Pearson. This is a Peter Pan retelling, but it is so well done. This is one of my favorite Peter Pan stories. The way he treats Molly in this book, you can tell that Molly was his first love, even before Wendy, or after Wendy. Can't remember if it was before or after Wendy. Anyway, but yeah, Molly, and it's his first love, and it's a beautiful, beautiful relationship that they have, and it's in the midst of a really, really incredible adventure, and I highly, highly recommend it. Alright guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this little read this, not that, and please, please, please give this video a big thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and please leave a comment. I respond to every single comment that I get. Every single comment. I try my very best to respond, because I just love discussing things with you guys in the comments. And I really, really, truly appreciate every single subscriber that I get. It just means the world to me that you guys are listening to me and want to hear what I have to say about books and autism, and it's a dream come true for me to be doing this, really. So, I love you guys. Alright guys, I will see you all next time. Bye! Just popping back in for a minute just to show you guys something. So this is a bookmark that was made by my husband. It's Gryffindor. My husband has a little hobby / business where he makes beautiful bookish merchandise. He makes everything from placemats to bookmarks to toys, baby blocks, signs, jewelry, all kinds of things. You can find his information below. He doesn't update his Facebook page very, very regularly, so sometimes his latest products are not on there, but they are definitely on Instagram, so I would definitely check out Instagram. Follow him on Instagram if you want to see more of what he does. You can always call him and ask him if you want something made. He does custom orders, so yeah, everything he makes is customized to what you want. So yeah, just shameless plug, popping in, just if you're looking for bookish merch, maybe for Christmas or something coming up in a few months. Think about it. Alright guys, I don't use his book sleeves myself just because he hasn't had time to make me one. He's just been so busy with orders, so I get my book sleeves from Book Bestie, but that's just because he just doesn't have the time to make me one. So, but for customers, he also makes book sleeves as well. So, alright guys, I will see you all next time. Bye!